Hello, and welcome to another one of our IFL Science live interviews. I'm Dr. Alfredo Carpinetti, IFL Science senior science writer, and I'm joined by the fantastic Professor Nira Chamberlain, a British mathematician. And today we're going to tackle one of the big questions of the world. Is maths the greatest subject in the world? Hello, Nira. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much indeed. It's very nice to be here.
Thank you. Can you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, like I said, my name is Nira Chamberlain. I'm a professional mathematician. My expertise is mathematical modeling. What does that mean is I look at any problem, convert it into mathematics, solve the mathematics, then apply the solution back into the real world. Now, I've been working in many different areas in terms of, like, say, engineering, aerospace, cars, retail. That's me. I'm very much an out-and-out mathematician. I'm also a mass communicator, so I wear quite a number of different hats being a mathematician.
That is absolutely fascinating, and I do like all your wide range of expertise because I think you can help us tackle the question at hand, mostly because I feel that the world is divided between people that enjoy and love maths, such as myself, and people that maybe in school have struggled with maths, and so they see it as something that is either too complicated or maybe something that is not something that they use in everyday life. And the fact that you apply complicated maths to everyday life is really exciting. So the question is maths the greatest subject in the world?
Is maths the greatest subject in the world? I would refrain that. I will change that question. I say that mathematics is indisputably the greatest subject in the world. It's not the greatest, it is indisputably. There's no other subject that comes close to it. Mathematics is indisputably the greatest subject in the world.
Okay, I think you need to qualify why it is indisputably the greatest subject in the world.
Well, mathematics, there's a nice saying that if you go down deep enough into anything, you will find mathematics. Mathematics is all around us. Mathematics is an exciting, beautiful, powerful subject. I can speak to somebody who we don't share anything in common, not language, but we talk about mathematics and we can communicate through the language of mathematics. Mathematics is, like I said, mathematics is powerful. Some people think that mathematics is very mechanical. 1 + 1 = 2. You're either right or wrong. That's not true. Mathematics is a very, very creative subject. Very creative. Yes, there are rules, but through those rules, you can go into so many endless creativity. It's a very creative subject. It's not a boring, cold, dull subject. It is creative. And even if you look at the way that the world is going now, the world is turning much more data-driven, much more digital, and everybody's talked about artificial intelligence. Well, guess what? Artificial intelligence would not exist if it wasn't for mathematics. And if people are thinking, well, guess what? I will not use mathematics ever again. Yes, you do. The thing is, every time you're going down to the basic level, anytime you're making a cup of tea and saying, I don't use algebra, please go through the steps of you making a cup of tea without using the language of algebra to see what you're going to do with that. I saw a good joke one time where somebody says to a fairy, please give me the fairy said to the person, I want to give you 3 wishes. And the person says to that fairy, okay, my first wish is I wish that mathematics doesn't exist. Push. And then says the fairy, well, what happened to most of 2 wishes? 2 wishes to say, sorry. Exactly. That just shows the value of mathematics.
Thank you very much for that. Clearly you are preaching to converted already, but given how polarizing math is, what do you think we can do maybe in terms of education to get more people to enjoy and also appreciating more just how important the mathematics is?
Yes, I think we have to explore the workings of mathematics, but also the creative side of mathematics, and seeing how mathematics is actually linked to all to every single the subject around. I mean, one time I went into school to do a workshop, and I stood in front of the children, and they said, "Oh, we think that mathematics is boring." Away we go. And then I did this workshop calling Saving Aston Villa. Now, Aston Villa is my football club. Yeah, that's my team. That's my football club. And I just showed them the mathematics of working out the probability of Aston Villa being relegated or Aston Villa getting promoted, and actually showing how we could actually use mathematics in this very creative way. And you have to see people saying, "Wow," they're saying, "We wish that all mathematical lessons could be like that." Now, I'm not saying every single mathematical lesson is going to be like that, but we have to show that, how mathematics is, when you actually link mathematics to real world problems and showing how creative it is, it's not the case of I add this. It's about as Einstein once said, mathematics is the poetry of logical ideas. And then when you actually go and do that, the poetry of logical ideas, that's where you will get more people appreciating mathematics. Like, say, for instance, if I go to France and go up to Paris and I look up at the foot of the Eiffel Tower, I can see the names of mathematicians written on the side of it. That's what we should do. So maybe we should start a campaign just to have the name of mathematicians written on the side of Big Ben. There you go. That's one thing that we could do.
That is very good. I do like that refrain of how mathematics should be taught, adding more creativity. Something in my experience in education was that my teacher always had little fun facts about the mathematician that created the theorems, and it really made it feel like real, like these were real people trying to solve real problem. And now, after centuries, we have extrapolated it in these big logical rules that we apply to mathematics. Continuing on the subject of education, especially for people that want to have a career in mathematics, we see, especially here in the UK and in the US, the math is mostly professionally for cishet white men. What can the subject and how can the education of the subject be improved to be made more inclusive, to be made that everyone can feel that not only have chance, but they can succeed in becoming a professional mathematician?
Well, I mean, okay, there's two things really, truly. There's external, internal. Now, if we talk about internal, about the mathematics community, now mathematics is very much a collaborative science. If you have an idea, if I have a mathematical idea, I have to bounce it off somebody. You know what I mean? It has to be challenged, and then somebody says, "Well, how about this?" And you come in from a different perspective and saying, "Yes, I missed that," and then away. And that's how I improve as a mathematician, by collaborating with other mathematicians. Somebody to challenge my ideas and saying, "I don't think so. Try this logic, try that," and away we go. So for the mathematicians themselves, the question is, who do you collaborate with? Is your collaborators diverse, or are the collaborators just somebody that just looks like you? See, if the collaborators just look like you, then there's a film called Matrix, like the baddie in the Matrix all look the same. You know what I mean? Now, come on, do we really want the mathematics community to be like that, where we look like a Matrix? No, some film out of a Matrix. Come on, no way. And also, we have to recognize, for let's say the mathematics community, is that we can make mathematics stronger by making it more inclusive, because people will come up with different experiences, different ideas, and it will improve you as a mathematician, and the mathematics community will improve. So that is, so mathematicians, established mathematicians out there, is who do you collaborate with? Who do you mentor? Who do you sponsor? I mean, I do remember the one time, and this is, I'm going back probably 10, 15 years. I remember one time I went to a conference, it's a mathematical event, and in front of me, there was this mathematical professor, it was a white guy, and I looked at him, he looked at me, and we had absolutely nothing in common. nothing in common. And then all of a sudden, we just started talking mathematics, and then he punched me in the shoulder and saying, that's how you do mathematics. And we're just talking mathematics. That's the way it should be. You know what I mean? I felt encouraged and inspired. You know what I mean? Just having that conversation. We're just talking mathematical ideas because we have a passion about mathematics. So yes, and I'm sure that he got something out of it as well. You know, from, let's say, my ideas and my perspective. You know, so that's, you know, as mathematicians say, it does start with the mathematics community. Who do you collaborate with? Who do you network with? Who do you mentor? Who you sponsor? And if that group is not diverse, guess what? The mathematics community will never become diverse.
Wonderful. That was a great answer. Thank you very much. I was wondering if you have a last message to leave us on, something maybe that the general public ought to know about mathematics.
What does the general public need to know about mathematics? Well, I think, you know, you talked about mathematicians and, you know, how you can become a mathematician. Now, there's sometimes this stereotype about mathematicians. They believe that mathematicians are people that will see a question like 256 times 256, and they'll be able to times that number in the head. We see 0.001 second, and there's some sort of genius, you know, they can solve everything in very quick seconds, very, 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 very fast. Guess what? That is not true. You know, when I was studying mathematicians, especially some of the top mathematicians, they all have this common theme, and it's this: it says a mathematician is not someone who necessarily find mathematics easy. A mathematician is someone that sees a problem and never, ever quits. That's a mathematician. I'll repeat that again. A mathematician is not necessarily those who find mathematics easy. A mathematician is someone who sees a problem and never, ever quits. So that's my first point. And my second point is something that my dad said to me. You know, I remember when I was at school, I went to see my career teacher, and the career teacher said to me, Nira, what would you like to be when you grow up? And I said, oh, I wouldn't mind doing something that involved mathematics and logic. And then my career teacher said, well, Nira, you got the physique of a boxer, so you should become a boxer. But then when I went home and told my parents that this is what my dad said to me, and not only does my dad say this to me, he's saying it to everybody out there. You don't need anybody's permission to be a great mathematician. So, and I'll repeat that again. You don't need anybody's permission to be a great mathematician. And those are my 2 points that I like to say.
That is a wonderful message. Thank you very much for your time today.
No problems. It's been great. It's been great chatting and good talking to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.